So hello again, everyone. I'm Sirius Skirhan, Facilitator and Coordinator for the OTF Professional Development Project. It is my pleasure to welcome each and every one of you to OTF Connect's My Hero project, using technology to enhance your literacy program. Thank you so much for giving up of your family time to join us tonight. I am absolutely delighted to once again welcome Mally Bickley and Jim Carlton, who will be facilitating tonight's webinar. Both Mally and Jim have facilitated a number of very inspiring webinars for OTF Connect, and I'm certainly looking forward to tonight. And without any further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Mally and Jim.
Hi everyone, my name is Mally Bickley and I'm a grade 5 teacher in Simcoe County, and a lot of the activities
Okay, it looks like maybe Mally had to step out of the room and come back in because she's having microphone difficulties. And so in the meantime, oops, I'm going to see a text coming through from her. So in the meantime, my name is Jim Carlton, and I'm an ICT consultant in Simcoe County. And so Mally and I work in the same school board. We used to be in the same school. And both of us, along our educational journey, sort of reached a point in our careers where while we still like teaching, we were losing our passion for teaching. We were both 15, 20 years in, and still doing a decent job of teaching, but we were just sort of teaching the curriculum and sort of locked into our four walls. And it was through getting connected in projects like this My Hero project, and other projects that allowed us to use technology in ways that let our students to share what they're doing with the world and to connect with others in the world, and engage in real and meaningful projects like the My Hero project. And so what we're really excited tonight is that we've also got Jeannie Myers with us from Laguna Beach in California, and she's one of the founders, or the founder, of the My Hero project. And again, it's through meeting people like Jeannie and being involved in projects like this that both Mally and I, our passion for teaching and education got rejuvenated. And this is one of those projects that for us, we get often asked, because in our daytime job, where we work for Simcoe County, but in the evening, and also kind of works in with our day job as well, we're the Canadian directors for the International Education and Resource Network, which is a network of teachers and students from around the world that connect with one another to use technology in real and meaningful ways. And so we've done a lot of different projects through IRON, and quite often when we're showing them to people, people will ask us, well, what's a good place to start? And this is the project, the My Hero project is the one that we always encourage people when they're looking for a good place to start in these sort of global collaborative projects, because there's just so many, it's so well laid out, it's nice and structured, easy to follow, and there's, as you see as we go through it, there are lots of different ways that you're going to be able to enter into it. So I think Mally's back, and I'll let her introduce herself.
Oh, you didn't hear me introduce myself even. I was talking to nobody? That happens all the time. Anyway, I'm Mally Bickley, and I teach grade 5 during the day in Bradford, in a small yet growing town. Our school has officially announced that hit 1,000 kids, so is the biggest school in Simcoe County right now, just growing like leaps and bounds, but we're splitting next year. And as Jim said, through this kind of teaching, this global collaborative teaching, it's really brought a passion back to our teaching. And I can now officially say that I've hit my retirement date and passed it, and it's because of projects like My Hero and being involved in IRON and having the honor and privilege to work with teachers from around the world that I've decided to stay a little bit longer, just because I'm not quite ready yet. So, as Jim said, this is one of the projects that when we do go around and do some PD with teachers, that they often ask where to start, and we tell them that My Hero is a great place to start. Not only because it's an awesome project, but it fits so many curriculum goals, and I hope that you'll see that as we go through. So what we're going to do first is a little interactive activity. We're going to use the whiteboard, and we'd like you to take the text tool, or you can take a crayon and write. Just grab one of the tools and just share with us who you believe to be your hero. Like, who is a hero in your life? And you know, if you were to talk about somebody as a hero, who would you share? Whose life would you share with them? So just grab the tools and go ahead and write who your hero is. Jeannie. And what we're seeing here is pretty much what we see with the students in our class, that most of the heroes that the children talk about are people that are close to them in their lives. But also, we're not seeing the great celebrities that, you know, often kids confuse celebrity with heroism, and this is always a great place to start. So who is your hero, and why? So this is an awesome list, and it's great to see so many people that are close to you. So, just as we said, the My Hero, what we want you to consider is how My Hero fits into curriculum areas, because we are so driven by curriculum. We need to consider. It's a project that it's beautiful because it goes for students. You can do it from students in kindergarten all the way up to grade 12, and actually Jeannie has examples of it being used at the college level as well. One thing I love about it, it really enhances and encourages differentiation. So as we get into the tools and start looking at some of the tools in the project, you'll see that it really asks people to build upon their strengths in order to talk about heroism. And the other thing, it really invites a global audience, because all of these stories, and you'll see, are shared in an international website that gets millions of hits a year. So maybe get Jim to introduce Jeannie.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, well, this is Jeannie Myers. Jeannie is a dear friend of both mine and Jim's, and to me is a real hero to children all over the world, because she set up this program. So Jeannie lives in California, and we'll ask her to turn on her webcam so that we can see her if you can. And maybe tell us, Jeannie, how you started and why you started, and a little bit about the project and where it's been and where it's going.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for letting me be part of this session. I love this technology, and I'm really honored to be a part of your discussion today. I don't know if I can bring in content onto the screen, Mally. Is that possible or no? Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, yep, you can. What did you want to bring in, Jeannie?
I have a slide of our mission statement. Maybe that would help instead of looking at me. Like, I can import an image. Is that how you do it? Uh-oh.
Or we could just have you share your desktop, but I think, would we have to get... get you promoted, I think.
I just lost the whole screen of your whole thing, so I did something. Cancel. There we are. Okay. Well, it's anyway. My hero. The mission of my hero is to celebrate the best of humanity and to empower people by using media, technology, and art to celebrate the best of humanity and to realize their own potential to affect positive change in the world. And we've been online for 17 years. So do you want to give me the screen or not really? Not yet.
Jeannie, you do have moderator privileges, and maybe Jim and Mally can walk you through how to share your desktop.
Okay, Jeannie, if you want to share, you go up to Tools and the toolbar, Application Sharing, and Share Entire Desktop.
Okay, wait, I'm in here, and Tools and Sharing Applications, Send Key, Application.
No, it should say Share Entire Desktop.
Application Sharing. It doesn't give me that option. It gives me Send or Other. In-session invite, moderator.
Yeah, you're a moderator.
Allow new participants, profile, session play. That's all right. Well, you have slides already, so I will just tell everyone basically that we've been online for 17 years, and since it started it started with me and 3 other documentary filmmakers who wanted our children to see positive role models in the media. And the networks at the time said, this is really great, but it's not commercially viable. And so we felt it was really important, and we launched it as an interactive web project in 1995, not really understanding the power of the web. And since that time, because of teachers and students from around the world who have used the project, we've been improving it. And so what we hope to deliver to students is a toolkit so that they can be digital reporters and use their skills both as writers, as artists, as musicians, and filmmakers to share stories about the people in their lives and in their community and in their world who are making a positive difference. And then the library has become a growing multimedia library of hope, and the stories are coming from professionals as well as students, so that when you send your students to My Hero to look at short films, there's films by students and there's films by professionals, and they come from people all over the world. So it's first-person storytelling, which is something that we find so positive and powerful. And Mally's story that she and her students wrote about one of the students, Mohammed Sidibe, on the website, you know, we've been able to watch Mohammed Sidibe grow up, and people have made, in Mally's class about Mohammed Sidibe, a documentary that's shared online, and then we made a documentary as he became a teenager. And so some of the children who have grown up with My Hero, their story is shared with My Hero, their media is shared with My Hero, and their portfolio stays with them. Theoretically, when a student registers to use My Hero, they have their own username and password, and they can take it with them from 3rd grade to 6th grade to 8th grade and come back and add content to their digital portfolio. And the teachers that use the project can also find all of their students' work and organize that into a directory so they can then share it with parents and classmates and other people on the school's website. So we've tried to create tools both for the student and for the teacher to publish media, whether it's a story, whether it's a picture, whether it's a photograph, whether it's a song, and publish it with our audience, which last year there were 12 million visitors that came to the website from 194 countries. So, and this is commercial free, nothing sold on the website. Our funding comes from foundations and individuals that believe this is an important tool for the 21st century and are helping us grow and build this library because of the teachers and students that are participating. So it's been really fun to watch the project grow, and it isn't any one person that really is making this project grow. It's people like Mally and Jim and the students that contribute. And the Canadian contingency has been really the most innovative group of teachers that are using the project, and the most, I don't know what it is about your system, but trying new ways of applying what we have, adding lesson plans to the website. And if you go into the My Hero Teachers room, there are lesson plans that have been shared by teachers. If you look at the video that we had, the presentations at ISTE last year, we had a panel that included Mally and Jim and teachers from around the world who have used My Hero, and those that whole session was documented, so you could learn more after this if you're interested by watching those videos of teachers talking about how they've incorporated My Hero into their classroom. And I think that that's probably, Mally and Jim probably can give you more specific details about the project, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. But I really appreciate all of you taking the time to learn about it, and I hope that, if you have any questions, our team is small, but they're available, and if you have questions as you're using the program with your students, Rebecca Miller reads thousands of essays that come in, and we approve them before they go live to make sure they're child-friendly and safe and appropriate. So she mentors teachers that get stuck with technology for some reason or another if there is a problem. And Wendy Millette is the director of our Media Arts Education program, so if you're trying to add a film and you're having any questions about making a film, Wendy might be able to help you. You can ask her. And Victoria Murphy runs our gallery. So each of the spaces on the site are mentored by educators and people who are committed to making sure this interactive journal is friendly and child safe. So I guess the last thing I'd say is that our homepage constantly is refreshed as a magazine or journal, and it's content that's coming from students and professionals that's featured on the website that ties to themes that you may be trying to discuss with your students about AIDS awareness, about Earth Day, about women's history. If there's any themes on the UN calendar, we usually have a hero associated with it or something that ties to that on the website, whether it be a story or a work of art. And we have a relationship with the Associated Press, so we pull current events into the site on a regular basis, so you can talk about news with a positive slant using My Hero as a resource.
Thanks, Jeannie. That Jim and I are just chatting and saying that we really can't say it any better than you do, because you're so passionate about the project. It's your baby. We've spent so much time with you, and know that you're very passionate about bringing positive influences to kids all over the world, and we really appreciate it. So I hope you hang around and just jump in when there's something that you can talk about. And I think the one thing that Jeannie did touch on is there is so much in this project that you could use this as a activity for your students, but you can also use it as a teaching resource sort of across a lot of curriculum areas, because there's so much. There's news, there's stories, there's films and art, and it's just incredible. So what we're going to do is just sort of walk you through, not step by step, but walk you through the My Hero site and show you some of the features of it, and also highlight a few of the stories and films and artwork so that you can see what the students can do in order to publish to this global audience. So this is the home page, and as Jeannie said, it changes quite frequently, probably every 3 weeks, and as kids will go into the site just to read the news and to read some of the news feeds. So it's great for current events, but it's also when we had Black History Month and students were studying that topic, they could go in and they've sorted all the stories. So My Hero can be done in a lot of different ways. Essentially, students become My Hero reporters. So we all do report writing. You know, it's part of the curriculum right from, small moments in grade 1 and 2 all the way up to grade 12. Everybody needs to write a report. So what an engaging way to do it. So the student publishing tool is a great way for students to publish their written work. So maybe, Jim, if you can talk about this particular piece of writing and what happened with it.
Sure, and this is just a great example of, and I think it's something that we've all heard for years, that we need to find real and authentic and engaging reasons for our students to write. And that's what this particular project does. And just as a quick aside, often we'll get teachers coming to us saying, well, I want to set up a blog and I want to do this and that, but they haven't already got a purpose. Then my first question to them is like, what is it that you want to do with it? And that's what I love about this particular project is, one, we're going to see the tools are built right in there for you and your students to be able to publish, but then the purpose is already set up for you to do that as well. And in this particular case, we had a student that Mally and I were working with in another school, and he was a reluctant writer. His name was Gabe, and he ended up writing his My Hero story about David Virgo. And so I noticed in the beginning a lot of us are sort of from the Southern Ontario area, and if you remember a few years ago, David Virgo was a truck driver who, when we had that issue with street racing down the 400 highway, he had driven his truck off the road and ended up killing himself in order to save the lives of others due to the street racing. So Gabe wrote his story about David Virgo, and what was really cool about that was that David Virgo's wife had actually then, like I was saying, it's this real, meaningful, and authentic sort of story that he's written, and he's got an audience now who's going to see it. And so Mrs. Virgo, David Virgo's widow, saw the story online and actually contacted the school, and here's a picture of her now meeting Gabe at the school, and they ended up connecting, and now Gabe actually works with her foundation in order to help prevent street racing. So we love that story, and it's got that whole sort of character education piece built right into it. It's got everything that we love as teachers, but then it got even better, because normally you sit there and you think in sort of a traditional writing assignment, you figure, you have students write something, even if it was writing about their hero, they write it on a sheet of paper, they hand it to you, you give them a mark, hand it back, and then that paper goes who knows where, right? Whereas again here, because they know they've got this real audience out there, we actually went back last year to look at the story because we were going to be talking about it as part of a project just like this. When we went back and we looked at it, and sure enough, Gabe had gone in on his own a year and a half later, so obviously nothing to do with his classroom assignment or anything, had gone in and re-edited the story. So because it was real to him. It wasn't about just getting a mark. It was authentic and purposeful, and it meant a lot to him. And that's a reluctant writer. So that's just one small story that's part of, like Jeannie was saying, there's just hundreds, thousands of stories written by students all over the world. So what we're going to do is just put into the chat box, I'm just going to type in a link that will take you, I see now we beat me to it, that will take you to a directory of stories. And just take a few minutes to have a look at some of the stories. You can see that they're categorized here. And you can spend a few minutes and just have a look at some of the stories that are there, and we'll take, what do you think, Mally, just 2 or 3 minutes? Not too long, just enough to give you a sense of the breadth and the depth of the different stories that are out there.
Yeah, just because we know that you wouldn't be able to read it on the PowerPoint, and we're sorry about that. So just take a couple of minutes. If there's somebody that's your hero, you can just actually type their name, and if it's somebody that's fairly well known, you can type their name into the search box, and you can see how many stories are written about that person as well.
And what's great, as you're looking at them, they're so nicely and professionally laid out, and as you're going to see, we've had students creating and publishing these stories independently from what, grade 4, you could probably have grade 3s even doing it independently. You could certainly do it with kindergarten, grade 1s, 2s. You could do that as a shared or interactive writing activity. So like Mally was saying, it truly is a K-12 project.
And just, you know, if you want to go back to your class tomorrow and do something really fun, some of the teachers that we're working with were talking about what they could do for Mother's Day, and one of them was to have the students, and they were in grade 1 and 2, just have the students go into the My Hero project and write a short thank you to their moms and say why their mom is a hero. And we're going to show you the publishing tools, but how simple would that be, and to spread that message using this tool that everybody can see. So we thought that was kind of very cool.
And you'll see as we go along here this evening, you can start off with something really simple like that. This is going to take you, you know, a day or two to publish a quick little thank you to mothers for Mother's Day, to more extended projects where your class is creating a class website about their heroes and it's just with their class, to actually connecting globally with classrooms around the world and working on the project collaboratively. So there's all different ways and ways that you can enter into the project, which we just love.
Jeannie, you're awesome. So, well, another way that the students can participate, and this is where the differentiation really comes in. So if you have students who are strong writers and really prefer, you know, I still have students who still like to write the traditional story. They might like to write it on pencil paper and then put it into Word and then into this tool. I have other students who can't do that. It's really difficult for them to write, but they still want to express about their hero. So the My Hero project offers students the opportunity to publish artwork. And if you go into,
Did we lose you again, Molly? Okay, I think we might have just lost Mally again for a moment, so she's probably trying to log back in again. So I think what she was just talking about is that one of the things that we like about the project is that there's also all different ways that students can communicate their ideas. So we were just looking at traditional text-based stories, and so now what Mally was going to be showing is the art gallery. So I put the link up to the art gallery, so if you want to take a couple of minutes and look through there, and this is where students can create artwork. It could be any kind of, it could be, you know, 2-dimensional art, 3-dimensional art that they've taken pictures of, digital art, photography. You can see that there's printmaking. You can see all the different mediums that they have already organized there in the art gallery. And that provides students just another way to express their thoughts about their hero. And it also, like, even though we sort of titled this as the My Hero Project, and I can't remember even the exact title, but the My Hero Project in order to enhance your literacy program, I think that you see that it's much more than just traditional literacy, and it really is a cross-curricular type project that can fit in to virtually any area of your curriculum. So again, take a couple of minutes and look through some of the different artwork that's available. One of the great things that we love about the website itself too is not only is it a great place for your students to publish to, it's also a great place for you and your students to go to in order to see some really good examples of work that's being created by others. And we found it a great place to go to when we're doing critical reflection of different media formats. So it's a great resource for that sort of thing too.
Sorry, everybody, but Jim was saying exactly the same thing that I think I said before I got kicked out. So did you get a chance to look through the gallery? So another feature that we absolutely love about the My Hero project is it really inspires kids to go out and become reporters and learn about not just good writing, but good reporting, and looking at social issues and environmental issues and things around the world that they become passionate about. And a young girl that Jeannie has mentored from the time she was, what, 5?
Yeah.
And a friend of ours, because a lot of these projects in Iron and through My Hero, we all work together, not just in the My Hero project, but through other ones, is a young girl named Slater, and she's a very, very talented young filmmaker, and she was going to, she prepared this film to go to the Youth Environmental Summit in Japan about 6-7 years ago. And once she was there, she was inspired to keep going and working on a bigger project. But we just want you to enjoy this film. It's called Don't Give It All Away, and this is a great film to use as a great discussion starter during Earth Month in April. And we'll just put the link in the box, and if you can click on it and watch the movie. It's about 4 minutes, so Jim's already got it there. So if you watch the movie, and then when you finish watching it, you can just give a green check mark to say that you have finished. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, the first link wasn't good, so try the second, and I put it in a third time now. Those ones should be good.
It says no video source.
Did you go to the second and third links that I put in? The first one the first one I got the same thing, but the second and third ones are working. And I'll put it in there again. So try that one.
I don't see where they are.
In the chat box.
Oh, I can't.
You might want to put it into the web tour.
Okay.
Hi, what's happening? Can anyone please tell me what's going on? Hi, what's going on?
Hi, Almas. We're just watching a video, but some people have had difficulty seeing it, so I think it should be almost finished.
Well, I haven't seen the video at all. I don't know what's going on. I just have a screen that says don't give it all away, and that's it.
Okay, we put a link in the chat box that you could click on to see the movie, but we'll send a recording. And you'll have the link so that you can watch it a little bit later.
All right then. So it looks like most people have finished, and Slater is an extremely talented film producer, and she's developed her passion for filmmaking through dealing with people at My Hero. Jeannie's been a great mentor to her parents, and she found her passion in standing up for the environment, and shares a lot of the materials through the My Hero project. And another thing that we love about this is Jeannie really ties it all together and encourages young filmmakers to enter their media in an annual film festival that happens usually around December. They encourage people or youth to send in videos about their heroes or about anything around social justice to a film festival. And every year there are incredible films that are submitted from all over the world. And it's a great opportunity for kids to showcase their work, and just like in the art gallery, not only showcasing their work, but using other people's films to reflect on, to talk about audience and message and so many things, using these incredible pieces of media as teaching tools as well as something to learn with. So we'll skip this one. Maybe Jenny, you can talk about learning circles. And this is more about how we can get started.
Yeah. Someone wrote in a question before about how the teacher's room has a sign-in, and the reason that we do that is so that we can know what students are going to be coming in and help teachers as their students publish their work on My Hero, then organize it. So there's no charge for anything, but there is a registration form in the teacher's room to get an educator account with My Hero. And when you have an educator account, you have the ability to search our database for your students' work that has been submitted and approved, and then organize that into a directory. And the Learning Circle is a program that My Hero does in partnership with iEarn, and we have a mentor, Wendy Jewel helps mentor the partners that are taking part in the project. Mally helps mentor teachers that are taking part in the project. And it's set up twice a year so that you can be part of a unit that is participating in My Hero from several different points around the world at the same time, with the goal of then publishing your work and sharing it with others from around the world. So there will be classes from Iran and from Mexico and from across the US and Canada, and doing this project both at the elementary, middle, and high school level. So in any given period of time, it's offered in September and then again at the end of January. And the unit, in the course of the unit, and Mally should talk about it because she's been part of it, but you meet the teachers, you meet the students in the other classroom, and sometimes the culminating activity is a Blackboard session where you can actually look at each other's work and talk about your heroes virtually in this space together, as well as just sharing the URLs and reflecting as a class and asking the students to go and look at each other's art or their stories. And more students are beginning to understand how to use tools and are making short films for the Learning Circle as well. So, and sound, we've just added an audio studio onto My Hero in the last 2 years. So students are also composing music or writing poems and publishing their audio files.
Thanks, Jeannie. And I think, sort of to be clear, you can do My Hero either in a learning circle, and that's when you can join iEarn, which is, maybe Jim can put the link in the chat box to iEarn, and join iEarn, and then become part of a circle with 8 to 10 other classrooms. And the role of the facilitator is to lead the group of classrooms through this project. And it's a 16-week project, so the facilitator will guide you through step by step, week by week, what you should be doing with each activity. The other thing that you can do is do this project as a standalone with a class. And again, you'll be registering yourself and your students. We're going to get to that right now. You're going to register yourself and your students in the My Hero project, and then you can create web pages of the hero stories. As Jeannie said, there are a lot of lesson plans. There are tutorials that guide you through each and every one of the aspects. If you're not sure how to publish a web page or have your students publish, there are tutorials and educator resources in here. And what I like about these resources is they're written by teachers for teachers. So they're tried and true lesson plans that actually work. And again, if you're in a learning circle, you have the support of all the teachers around the world, and you have that collaborative spirit, and you're working together and building these lessons yourself. So what we're going to have you do now is go into the teacher's room, and because the links aren't working in the PowerPoint, we're going to see how we're going to get you in there. But we're going to show you how to actually create one of these organizer pages, and we'll also show you the tools that the students use to publish as well. So what I'm going to do is take you on a web tour, a little bit of a web tour, and then we'll get you to get into the site yourself. So I'm just going to copy and paste the link into the web tour so that I can show you what this is going to look like, what it looks like when you actually get into the site. So this is how you can participate. You can be creating an organizer or a story. So I'm just going to show you the story first. Let me see your question. And you know what? I'm sorry, I don't want to say your name incorrectly, Minakishi. As we're working through a lot of these projects, sorry, I send home a note I send something home to the parents each time to let them know that we're participating in this project, because it does look a little bit different, the assessment will look a little bit different than a normal assessment. But I think you'll see that, it's a very rich literacy program. So, for the parents to become aware of what their students are doing. Okay, so I need to go into my media and put in my username and password. And it's going to take me where I can create my hero story. So each student has an account, and it will take them to a page where they can access their stories so that they can revise and edit their stories as they're writing. So the publishing tool is awesome. It encourages if you're into the 5-paragraph essay, it encourages the 5-paragraph essays. I hope you can see that. Can you just let me know if you can see that okay?
It hasn't changed screen yet.
No. Is it still in the organizer in the paragraph?
It's on the registration page on my screen.
Okay. So it's not moving very quickly. Okay, it's not moving very fast. So, okay, I'm going to stop the web tour. And what we'll do is send you to a place where you can actually register yourself for my hero. So go to, here it is. To this, we're going to encourage everybody to just go to this page themselves. And okay, so if you click on this link, this is where you'll be able to register yourself. And once you're registered and fill out, I think there's 5 or 6 questions that you need to answer. Once you've answered those questions, it will take you to a page that will look just like this, how to participate with My Heroes online tools. It looks like the web tour isn't working very well.
And everybody sees the link in the chat box?
Can you hear me when I talk, or do I need to hit talk?
We can hear you, Jeannie.
Oh, okay. Since this is an all-ages storytelling portal, oftentimes teachers will make a web page first before they ask their students to do it. And in doing that and sharing that with their students, it brings a sense of, common humanity in the classroom. And I think, sometimes teachers don't want to show their story maybe till the end of it. But if you're feeling like trying it out before your students, you wouldn't be the first teacher to share your hero story with My Hero, and it might make you feel sort of comfortable about how the process works. And we have one caveat, which is we won't promote hatred, violence, racism, or sexism on the website, but we don't judge people's heroes, and we are sensitive to the fact that students are publishing oftentimes for the first time content on the web, and if they include a birth date of their mother, for example, our readers will take it out to protect their privacy. But that's a good discussion that teachers can also have with students about what kind of information do you publish online and what don't you publish. In some cases, teachers choose not to use the student's last name in the story, and in some cases where it's a hard situation where someone's overcome some great obstacle, but we could see that by publishing the story with the person's name, it might cause them trouble getting employment, let's say. based on previous problems they've had with alcoholism or drugs, and their child is proud of their parent for overcoming this obstacle, we might include the story without the name of the parent. So there's ways of presenting the content and protecting the privacy of the individuals if it's appropriate.
And I think Jeannie brings up a good point too about the modeling process, especially when you're working with a tool like this. And each time that we have gone through this process, we've modeled. I've modeled a story as a class, and so it's showing them not only am I learning, not learning, but am I using the tool and appropriately, but it's also showing the teacher as a writer. And I think often students don't see that side of us, and see me going through the writing process as well. So each time we've done this, I've modeled the whole process, start to finish, right till it's to the web page. So we hope that you've had a chance to register and to see what's in there, and see all we really want you to take a really good look and see the kinds of resources that are in here for you, and also the potential for your students. I'm just going to go back to the organizer page, and once your students have created either their story, or they've created their piece of art, and they've archived it digitally somehow, a teacher, if you can attach a picture to an email, it's simple enough to create an organizer page just like this. And for me, it really serves two purposes. It really showcases the students' work, and they're so proud. We've had examples of kids who have asked their grandfathers and grandparents that live far away to log into their My Hero publishing tool and ask them to help edit their stories as they're going along. So that's really powerful. It really brings in the power of writing and what writing can do for the kids, and really to connect them. So it allows them to showcase to a global audience. And then from an assessment point of view, I that have, and I'm sure we're all dealing with them, parents who think that their kids are all level 4 writers, but they're going to see the wide range of writing abilities in the class, and it's not that you want to compare them, but it allows the parents to see the wide range of abilities that are in the class, and the writing styles as well. On this organizer page, you can put links to the stories, to the artwork, and to the videos. And I'm sure, Jeannie, now to the podcasts and audio recordings. I haven't done that part of it yet. Now I'm going to try the web tour again and see if I can show you how easy it is to put this together. So I'm going to do the web tour again. I'll try. Because this is a great feature, and when you are in the Learning Circle, this is part of the publishing section of the Learning Circle, where you're actually going to be publishing on this organizer and sharing the organizer with the rest of the classes throughout the world, and also a great thing for just your class to do. Okay, my microphone keeps cutting out. I'm really sorry, Janice. Okay, so we'll try the web tour again. And I will show you how easy it is to actually do this organizer. And this is one thing that that Jim and I also have. We're called in to help teachers with this part, because it is a little bit confusing until you've done it. And once you've done it, it's like so simple.
So I'm going to go, can you just let me know, it sounds like there was a voice lag. Actually, someone's got their webcam on. Maybe if you turn that off, I don't know who it does. If someone, it looks like Corinne, if you have your webcam, can you maybe turn it off, because that could be using a little bit of bandwidth. Okay, so I'm going to go into the organizer and go into where it says My Media. And can you see that, Jim or Syria? Thanks, Corinne. And I'm going to go into the organizer page. And this is a place where we can start one or go into one that I'm working on. So I have one called Dream Team Heroes. That's my class's nickname, the Dream Team. So it brings me to a page that looks like this. So along the top, I have the title. Along the bottom, I can add different features, just like a web page. I can add a divider, I can put it in text, I can put images and links and do the color switching. But the part that is a little bit tricky until you get to know it is how you add the content. A real trick to this is when your students register, I always have them register all at once, especially for younger students. They need to put in your name. Everybody needs to put in the name the way that you want them to. Like it'll either be Mally Bickley or Mrs. Bickley, and the school needs to be the same way, like Fieldcrest Elementary School or Fieldcrest ES, and that's really important, and the town that they're from. You're not seeing it? Darn. So I don't know why.
So what about if you...
No, you can't see the tools.
This works.
And what about if you try sharing your desktop instead now, instead of the web tour?
Yeah, you're supposed to be seeing it. Jan, sorry. So maybe try that. Try and click on that, but then you're not going to be seeing me change it. How about I share my screen? Okay. Yeah, it's going to. Yeah. Just need to stop the web tour. And Janice, you can see it. Sorry guys, it's not really.
Are you on the My Hero Start page?
Okay. So here we go. So now I'm sharing. Jim, if you can just tell me if you can see my screen now.
So are you sharing your desktop, Molly? I'm just seeing it. That's not what I'm seeing here.
Yeah. I'm on the one that says it's Mally Bickley's Media.
Okay.
You're not
So
seeing
now
that?
are you sharing your I can see your desktop,
Okay.
but
I suspect that
it's not on the right page.
I'll just stop it.
So just before you say stop sharing, just try that again. Just go to the...
I see Mally Bickley's Media now.
Yeah, because I think you're good now.
Okay. So I'm going to go to the organizer. And I'm sorry, everyone. And
I'm working on a Dream Team Hero page. So it has ones that are already active, and I won't open them because I don't want to use up the bandwidth. But it shows me any of the organizers that I've already created with previous classes and ones that I'm working on. So for example, if I want to work on this year's, I'll call it Dream Team Heroes, and it opens it up. And it gives me, I hope it's moving, is it moving along?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it gives me the opportunity, just like a web page, to add text and dividers and background colors and all of those features. But the part that people often ask for help with is how do they find their stories. So it's really important when students are registering that they register you as a teacher and the school in the exact same way. So if you have like Fieldcrest Elementary School, one kid puts in Fieldcrest Elementary School, the other one puts in Fieldcrest ES. It makes it more difficult for the program to find all the stories from Fieldcrest. Or if they use like Mally Bickley or Mrs. Bickley, they need to be consistent with what they're using. So if I'm going to go adding my hero content, so let's say I want to add some stories, and I'm going to search by keyword, so if I know exactly who my student story was about. If it's Terry Fox, there are going to be hundreds of them. If it's their dad or their mom, there'll just be one or two of the same name. But my first search is always for the teacher, so I'm going to put in my name, and I will search the stories that come up under me as a teacher. And here they come. Like there's quite a few because we've been doing this for years. So if I want to add them to my organizer, I'm just going to select it and add. And it's automatically going to show up in my organizer. So I would do this with all of my stories. Usually I organize it with my stories on one half and then the artwork and the films below that. Or I can make different organizers for each of the media. But it's very, very simple to do once you've kind of learned those tricks. And really, it doesn't take a lot of time, but the enjoyment and the engagement that you get out of the students after when they've created it, they're so proud of these stories, and they show everybody. And it's just one of the really rewarding parts of this program that you know, I think it's really important for me to include this in my program every year. And it goes beyond a literacy program as well. It also can be art. You might want to focus on, last year we focused on Canadian heroes, another year we did science heroes. We've heard of classes who have done heroes from certain eras in history. For Black History Month, they've chosen African American or Black people. It just can go on and on. So it's not just a writing program, it's definitely a cross-curricular activity that you can certainly, you know, for quite a few times I've been able to get a couple of report card comments from, not that's what this is all about, but really when it comes down to it, we need to be accountable for the curriculum, and I've been able to get some report card comments from their contributions to the My Hero website. So I'm going to stop sharing.
Can I add one thing to that? Is that this organizer tool can be used to pull together content as a reading list that you want to create for your students. So let's say you're studying Africa and you want to pull essays written about heroes from Africa that you want your students to read. This organizer tool can be used to promote content, or create a reading list or a movie viewing list and a reading list for your students before you have them write their essays, or just as part of an adjunct to some other lesson that you're teaching.
And again, showing how rich a tool this is for all aspects of school. So we should be wrapping up now. So if you have any questions about the program, or how to register, or how to get your class involved, we're really lucky to have Jeannie here.
So if you'd either like to grab the bike or put something in the chat box, feel free to ask some questions.
Okay, everyone, and like Jeannie was talking about earlier on, there's lots of support within the My Hero website, both in terms of video tutorials, text tutorials, human resources in order to help you. Mally and I are here to help you if you want. Because one of the great things about all of these types of projects, that one of the things that we love about it, it's really not about the technology, and sometimes people get stuck on one particular aspect of the technology or whatever, but it's not about that. It's about connections, and it's about building those relationships with others, and there's lots of support and help out there. So we encourage you to reach out and get connected, both in terms of getting that support and in terms of, I think you'll find that once you start one of these projects, you end up meeting others, which will take you off into other projects that you can't even anticipate right now. I mean, that's certainly been our experience and the experience of others that we know who have started down the path of joining projects like My Hero. So we'll put up our contact information. Oops, I think I do see a question now. What's needed in terms of hardware and software? And that's the beauty of it, like Jeannie's saying there, just access to the web. So it's completely free, and there's nothing that needs to be downloaded, or you're not going to need your IT department to install anything or anything like that. So it's great,
and students,
great in terms of that.
Students can use the project at home, in the school, in the library, and we've talked about this in the beginning, but their username and password allows them to build a portfolio of work, and they can take it with them year after year and continue to add to their sort of library digital portfolio of hero stories, art, films, music. So the idea that, we built this hoping to encourage young people to be reporters about people making positive change in the world and to let them grow with the program. And so it's, it's accessible to them and to their parents. And in our dreams, they teach some of the senior citizens that are in their world how to overcome their fear of computers by talking to them about their heroes and helping them then become reporters as well. So it's sort of the gift that keeps giving, and the teachers that have, like Mally and Jim, that have learned about the program are the ones who are telling other teachers, and the students tell their parents, and that's how we've grown the project over the last 17 years. So very thankful to Jim and Mally for helping us reach so many people around the world with the project and improve on it too. Their feedback and the feedback of other educators is, we're looking for your constructive criticism, and we know that it can be better and we want it to be better. So please feel free to contact us with any feedback you have. And if you find that it's successful, share your lesson plans, because that's how the Teacher's Room lesson plan library grows and the examples that people share become very helpful to other teachers around the world who are using the resources. So nothing is sold on the My Hero website, and it's really a labor of love by many people, and we are so thankful to all of the Canadian teachers and students that are such a vital part of the project, and thanks for being here today.
And Jeannie, thank you for providing a project that allows our students to shine in so many ways. And you know, we say it when we're with you, and we love the project and your team, and thanks for everything that you give personally, and we know it's a labor of love. So thank you, and we really hope that the teachers have an opportunity to try it with your class, and you know, share the information, and you know, just thank you for coming out. We know that it's a really busy time of year right now, and you know, you're probably thinking of winding down your school year, but this is a really exciting way to start your school year with maybe a learning circle. So thank you very much.
I just want to throw out two things. One is that September 21st is the International Day of Peace, and we are really hoping that teachers and students around the world will contribute stories, art, and films celebrating peacemaking heroes in your community. And the other thing is, I read someone asked a question about struggling readers and writers, and the My Hero audio portal is a great place to take people who are learning English as a second language or who are struggling with reading and writing, because selected stories have been narrated by professional readers. So students can listen to a story being read out loud and read along with the story in the My Hero audio portal. And it's something that, you know, we haven't promoted very well, I think, but it's a nice little treasure that's in the site for people that are struggling with reading and writing, and you may find it useful. myhero.com/audio, and then you can browse the story library, and there's many stories that have been read by professionals, and you can read and listen to the story at the same time. Put the URL in there. Okay, well, have a good night. It's late for you all. Sun's just setting in California.
Well, before you go, Jeannie, and I want to take this opportunity to thank Melly and Jim for once again a very informative presentation and sharing so many wonderful ideas on how to truly engage students through the My Hero project. And Jeannie, thank you so much for giving of your time to join us tonight and sharing your passion. It's obvious it's from the heart, and you certainly provide lots of wonderful opportunities for students to really get involved and engaged. Thank you to each of you that are still here for participating in tonight's session. I will be sending, we will be sending all the links and the resources for tonight's session. Please take a few minutes. I'm going to move to the last page, I'm hoping. Well, I can't seem to. Mally, do you know how to move to the last OTF slide? Well, not to worry. We will send you a link, and hopefully you'll be able to give us feedback on today's session. And do go to OTF Connect and share the OTF Connect site with your colleagues. We have more sessions resuming on the week of May 22nd, and sessions go till June the 6th. On May 22nd, we have using authentic assessment to engage students. And on May 23rd, we've got iPad possibilities with K-3. There's also a very good session on domestic violence on May 27th. So please encourage your colleagues to join us, and yourself sign up for some of the sessions that are coming up. So once again, thank you very much, Mally and Jim and Jeannie rather, and thank you all, and good night.
Good night. Thank you. Have a good night. Bye, Mally and Jim. Miss you.